Around a month ago, I got a news that Mr. Rajendra, FAO representative in Indonesia and Timor-Leste, would come to our studio while I was watching President Mr. Prabowo Subianto give his speech about food security. So I was very curious how FAO see the future of Indonesia in terms of food and agriculture. I get the time to talk with him today. Thank you very much for coming, Mr. Rajendra. How are you today?
I'm fine. Thank you very much, Grace, for inviting me to the studio.
Yes, once again, thank you for being with us today. I hope you enjoy our studio. And do you like it so far?
Yes, very much.
Very much?
Yeah.
Yes.
This is my first time here in SCTV. And yeah, looks like it's a very interesting place to be and work here in.
Yes. We're really happy that you guys come here to our studio and have a talk for today. Right now, Indonesia recently won the Agriculture Medal from the FAO of the United Nations. Without further ado, can you explain us about this award, sir?
Well, this award is actually a very prestigious award of FAO. It started in 1977, and this is given to the world-class distinguished dignitaries who have contributed to food security and agriculture. And in Asia, very few people have got this award so far. As far as I remember, the king of Thailand, King Bhumibol, or the then Prime Minister of Japan, Kenzo Obuchi. So there are very few Asians. And this time it was a great honor and pleasure for all of us that this award was conferred by Asian Director General of FAO to Asian President. And this award is given or conferred to Indonesia for Indonesia's tireless efforts in enhancing the food security, looking at the issues related to food security, nutrition, obesity, stunting, and most importantly, Indonesia's leadership in the food system transformation. We call something like food system transformation. It's not only food production, but somehow like how the food travels from farm to the table. That is called food systems. And Indonesia,
all of the systems like a supply
like
chain,
the whole supply chain,
yeah,
you can say. And Indonesia is really taking a stride, taking a lead. And so this is an acknowledgement of Indonesia's efforts. And also in terms of collaboration between Indonesia and FAO, we have been collaborating for the last 7 decades, almost 70 years. So this is also a recognition of our strong partnership and collaboration.
Yes, and I heard that this is the second award that Indonesia got. The first one was, the first awardee was President Suharto back then.
President Suharto got a different award. It was called Edward Soma Award, but this award doesn't exist anymore. But definitely you can say that the then President Jokowi is the second president in Indonesia to get FAO's award.
Okay. Very nice. And the FAO has also recognized Indonesia's Salak agroforestry system in Karangasem, Bali as a globally important agricultural heritage system. Do you think what traditional practices are employed in there? And, like something very special about it that make it to the GIAHS?
Okay, this is very interesting. The globally important agricultural heritage system is a system that is established by FAO to recognize, to acknowledge the agricultural heritage. And Salak agroforestry system is very unique in itself. It produces 14 varieties of salak. It has 5 strata of cultivation. It's not only producing salak. It has ornamental trees, then it produces other fruits like mango, banana, and you count them, then you have the root crops and then the rice and also the aquaculture system. So it's a system in itself. It provides food security and nutrition to the population. It provides job opportunities. It provides agro-tourism, but it also has the practice of living. This whole Indonesian philosophy of Trihita Karana.
And what is that?
Trihita Karana is a way of living that has been in practice for generations. And this agroforestry system is started in the 14th century. So this Trihita Karana philosophy is the relationship between human to human, human to the environment, and human to the spirituality, to the God. And you take from the nature, so you have to protect the ecosystem of the nature. And you work together with the human being, so you support each other. So it's a concept of peace and harmony. And the people of Karangasem, they are not only practicing the agroforestry, but they are also practicing this, ancestral system of living in peace and harmony. So that is something unique in itself.
Okay, very nice to know that. If we were talking also about food security, that is an essential matter for every nations in the world to face every uncertainty, global challenges, something like that. We have seen also a lot of international conflicts happen in the world, such as conflict in Gaza, in Syria, in many other countries. And we know that it also affects many countries' economies in the world. How to face these global challenges related to supply chains and price stabilizations in that matter?
You see, there are certain external factors that we cannot control.
Yeah,
right?
I
Say
agree
you
with
rightly said the conflict in Gaza or Syria or Ukraine or whatever. And these affect the international market prices, whether it's the food price, the grain price, or the fertilizer price, or the movement, and so on. So how do we really cope with that situation? I think we need to focus again on producing the local food, diversification of food. And that's where I always talk about food systems, not only food security, food systems. That means in the entire value chain. Where can we intervene? We can intervene in production. There are technologies available, adapted technology that will help boost production to produce sufficient. Then there are also other things. Another problem country like Indonesia is facing is food loss and waste. Almost 1/3 of the food produced in Indonesia is either lost or wasted. Lost means it's lost from production up to the distribution point, and wasted means it's mainly in the consumption. So how do we find the measures, the mechanism to reduce food loss and waste? So in addition to boosting the production, if you also find the mechanism to control the food loss and waste, that will already help us maintain the food security and food self-sufficiency in the country.
Okay.
And then again, coming back to Salak agroforestry, Indonesia is a peaceful country. People are living for generations in peace and harmony. I think this is also what Indonesia can tell the world. Living in peace and harmony also ensures food security and the national security.
And talking about other topics, sir, President of Indonesia, Mr. Prabowo Subianto, in many of his speech, also stated Indonesia's commitment to strengthen food security and energy self-sufficiency as a major step to face the uncertain situations. According to FAO, what are we supposed to do to achieve this target?
As FAO, I would say that we really welcome the support, the step taken by President towards the path of food self-sufficiency and through this free nutritious meal. You see, there is always a challenge. If you start something new, there is always a challenge. But do you look the glass half full or half empty?
Oh, okay. I like that vision.
There are ways to translate the challenges into opportunities. I think this is the time that Indonesia can really translate the challenges into opportunities. Of course, the road is rocky. Of course, there will be roadblocks, but nothing is impossible.
Bumpy roads are everywhere.
And what I like is producing local food, promoting local food. That will not only promote the local food, that will also promote the employment generation at the local level. And that will ensure the fresh products coming. And it's not only rice or corn. You look at the fruits in Indonesia, for instance, pisang.
Yeah.
You have varieties of banana. Actually, FAO is working together with Indonesia on something called One Country, One Product. So you can diversify the food. That will help enhance or ensure the food self-sufficiency in the country. And this food, energy, water nexus, Indonesia is already setting examples. Of course, there are a lot of things to do. And one thing I would like to add here, Grace, the Sustainable Development Goals indicators. Indonesia is far ahead of the curve vis-a-vis many other countries.
Oh, really?
62% of the indicators are on track.
Oh, really?
The global average is only 17%.
Oh, okay.
So, of course, we complain, but then again, we have to look in relative terms, right? Having said that, there is still 38% to achieve.
Yeah.
In order to become graduate from, say, upper middle income country to the developed countries.
And
so,
yes.
Yeah.
And what are the rest that we have to work with that?
Of course, that's where I think we need to work together.
Okay.
And a technically specialized agency like FAO would be very happy, and we are very committed to work together with Indonesia.
Indonesia is also promoting a free nutritional meal program for children in primary school until senior high. But to make it happen, we understand that there are some big challenges like food availability, supply chain and budget, not to mention about the demand of agricultural products and also the food are increasing. And sir, do you see that Indonesia can implement such program for, let's say, for the next 5 years?
As I said, I mean, we talked about it. I think there are challenges, but there are opportunities. I think if we all work together, I don't see anything is impossible. I heard this like the word impossible. Sometimes people try to translate it. It's not impossible. It's I am possible.
Okay. I would like to know.
So of course, you need to work for that. And it's not only one agency or one person's efforts. It's a real team effort. And there are so many stakeholders involved. So it's a real teamwork. There are challenges, but the challenges can be overcome.
Okay. Do you see that any other countries also implement such program? You think that's very concerned of?
You see, the best example could be Brazil. Brazil managed to they had a program called Fome Hunger, Zero Hunger, and they did it within a certain number of years. So we can learn from Brazil. And this is where FAO can also play a role because we also work very closely with Brazil. And what I am trying to promote together with the government is something called South-South and Triangular Cooperation, learning from each other. There are also other countries that have practiced this nutritious meal program. And there's something called School Meal Coalition. I think it's more than 100 countries are member of that School Meal Coalition, and FAO is also a member of that. So as a sort of technically specialized neutral body, I think we can bring the good practices. But at the same time, Indonesia also has good practices. And Indonesia probably would have more good practices in coming days. So I think there's a good room to work together and learn from each other.
Okay. But I wonder if FAO also get involved with our governments, Indonesian government, related to this issue, maybe joint discussions beforehand.
Yes, FAO has been working very closely with the government of Indonesia. We work across the ministries, Ministry of Agriculture, Ministry of Environment, Ministry of Forestry, Ministry of Fisheries and Marine Affairs, you name them. We also had a discussion with this new office, Berjalan nasional.
Oh, nice.
We already had a joint field trip. We have been discussing with Bapenas on this.
Yeah.
I think we need to see like who can support where, It's the whole food systems that we are talking about, even for this free nutritious meal program. It's not only consumption. You have to look at the whole value chain. And I think agency like FAO, we are already discussing and proposing like, okay, these are the areas where we think we have the technical expertise to provide support to Indonesia.
Okay.
And we'll be very happy to work together and collaborate.
Like all the challenges that other countries in the world face right now, other than Indonesia, of course, as I said earlier, that our president stated that in many of his speech stated that Indonesia needs to have these like food security and self-sufficiency, something like that. But as a FAO representative in Indonesia, and many you have so many experiences before, what do you see the challenges, the biggest challenges that other countries face right now in terms of food and agriculture?
See, Indonesia is such a diverse country,
Yes.
It has plenty of land. It's a huge human resources, and demographically, Indonesia is a very positive situation because you have a big percentage of youth. Of course, there are challenges. That the youth are not very much interested in agriculture, and that's why FAO and Government of Indonesia, we are working on something called regeneration of youth in farming. Regenerasi petani muda.
Oh, nice. You're speaking Bahasa Indonesia very well.
This is the time. And this is actually, Indonesia is again much ahead of the curve with this initiative. This is not a problem only for Indonesia. It's a problem all across the globe.
Oh, okay.
But Indonesia is taking it seriously.
I just wonder that other countries also face the same problem that we have about the petani muda, as you said earlier. Do we share the same vision and missions and the same problems that everyone needs to get rid of it or need to tackle?
I'll quote one. We were in Asia Pacific Regional Conference this February 2024 in Sri Lanka. And the head of delegation of Indonesia mentioned very strongly about regenerasi petani muda, the importance of regenerating the youth in agriculture.
Yeah.
And the chair of this FAO Independent Council, he said, the only country that talked about regeneration of youth was Indonesia.
Yes,
I did not hear this from any other country. So I think that was a very strong statement he made, meaning that, of course, this problem exists everywhere, but again, somebody has to take the lead. And I would say that Indonesia is already setting an example on regenerating the youth. And again, I would like to reiterate that FAO and Indonesia, we are working together also in this effort.
About this regenerasi petani muda, seperti teman-teman yang sudah ketahui bahwa banyak masyarakat atau anak zaman sekarang gitu saya bisa bilang ya, generasi muda yang juga pengen jadi petani. So sir, I also heard in like in many conversations with my friends, with my colleagues, that we really want to be a farmer back into in our hometown, but maybe if the government support us with every mechanisms that available right now, what do you think about it?
The young generation,
Yeah.
I am urging the educated young generation, working in agriculture doesn't necessarily mean that you need to go to the field and make your hands dirty, or you need to go to the water and dip yourself in to catch the fish. It's a food systems value chain. I again come to the food systems, and we are talking about from farm to the table. Look at your potentials, look at your talent. Where do you fit yourself? Are you fit for production? Are you fit for packaging? Are you fit for processing? Are you fit for transportation or distribution or retailing, or even looking at food loss and waste? So that's how we need to attract the youth. The first batch of regenerasi petani muda, actually they are graduating today. I'll be meeting them after this.
Oh, really?
When I had an interaction with them last time, I said, okay, if you get 5 juta, 5 juta, what do you do? Somebody says, I'll start organic manure production. Somebody says, I'll start packaging. I'll start processing. Somebody says, I will sell that. So there could be many areas where educated youth can participate in. Important is that, and no matter what they study, whether they study engineering, they study chemistry, they study philosophy, they can be involved in agriculture. They can go back. But they just need to find the right niche and avenue. And that's where we have to somehow inspire them and educate them. And somehow, support them. And there are funding available, I think, like, there are some capital ventures, there are funding available from different banks, even from the government, to start up. So we need to promote these young people as agripreneurs, not as farmers, agripreneurs.
Yeah, okay. How long actually it's already been it's been done?
This is underway. The first batch, as I said, the 39 young people will be graduating today, and they will enter into the market. Then probably around March, April, we'll go with the second batch of the youth, most likely in Lampung. This is in Cibubur in Jakarta, the first batch, and the next year will be in Lampung. In order to attract the youth, back home,
sure.
you cannot force the people to live back home in Kampung, but we can inspire them to go. And probably when they see the money, at the end of the day, what does the youth want? They want cash in the pocket.
Yes.
If you help them generate cash, if not every day, at least a week or twice a month, that could be the trigger for them to get into agriculture or food systems.
Yes.
That's the idea.
I agree with you. And for how many days or how many months that these people or these students need to study or to work along together in this program?
This is a real, almost 69 days of intensive training.
Oh, okay.
69 days of in-house training where they do the classroom training, but they will also go to the field and learn firsthand. And that involves from permaculture and different to digital technology and marketing and so on. So it's a whole package.
It's a whole package. What are the requirements for that? I think I'm very curious about joining this program. Maybe after this, and then, okay, sir, I need to apply for this because I have a plan actually.
I think we have partners. We are working with Pramuka. We are working with HKTI. and they have a mechanism to screen, and I'm sure you will qualify for that.
Yes, yes, yes. And it's very interesting for you guys. If you're interested with the program that Mr. Rajendra just said, maybe you can just apply to the website or to the page. Maybe we can just share the link afterwards. And it's very nice to know that FAO with the governments of Indonesia just share this idea, this community. And what do you wish after that for FAO and Indonesia?
FAO and Indonesia, we need each other, and I'm very happy to be here in Indonesia, working together hand in hand with the government of Indonesia. Also working with people like you who help us promote and disseminate the experience and ideas.
Yeah.
And let's engage the young people also in agriculture, so that it's a joint effort that we can help Indonesia, produce sufficient food and also ensure the food security not only for the people in Indonesia but also for the region and for the globe. All right.
Thank you, sir, for this very insightful conversations. Maybe not very much we can talk about FAO, food security, government to government or government to FAO, but I hope that there is something about these conversations that other people can get benefits from it. Thank you very much for coming to our studio. Thank you for the conversations. I hope you have a great day.
Thank you very much, Chris. Thank you. Hope to see you again.
Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot.